Boom. Headshot. Boom.
Ah! What the bloody hell? Oi!
Boom.
It's too much! Ah!
Good old Sniper. The class everyone wants to play, but nobody wants to play against. You know, I gotta admit, I have a real bias towards glass cannons. Some about having insane power at your fingertips, but the chance for it to so quickly go wrong with one misstep is really appealing to me. So yeah, I like Sniper. I like playing him, he's my favorite class, I think it's fun. But there is a serious debate going on in the community right now on Sniper's power. Many are arguing that Sniper is overpowered. Now what do I think of that? Well, I don't think overpowered is the right word for Sniper. I feel like for that to be the case, he'd need to have a much lower skill floor. If you ask me, something overpowered should be something that anyone can pick up and instantly mop the floor with the competition within minutes of use. Take Doom 2016. Siege mode on the Gauss cannon is not only incredibly powerful, but also very easy to use, to the point where if the molecules around the beam touch any heavy class demon, they fold like a house of cards. Or the Scorched... no, I've talked about that one enough. How about the Wrangler? The Wrangler triples your sentry's health and doubles your firing speed in exchange for giving up auto-aim and, wait for it, pressing a whole button on your keyboard, making it not only the single best defensive tool in the entire game, but also a decent offensive option even at long ranges outside of a sentry gun's normal radius. Now that's a weapon I'd call overpowered. Or Girardi. Not only is Girardi more useful than the SMG 9 times out of 10, it's also way easier to use. The SMG requires good aim and tracking, and requires the sniper using it to not buckle under the pressure of someone at close range. The Girardi requires that you hit around them, and if you're using the Bushwhacker, they're really gonna regret getting in close range of you. So yeah, I'd say Girardi is overpowered. But is that the end of issues with Sniper? Well, no, I wouldn't say so. So let's talk about that. Just what exactly is wrong with Sniper? Well, Sniper has a very similar role and function to a sentry gun. He specializes in area denial, deals high damage, but lacks movement options and quickly falls to any coordinated attack or even just spam in general. And like sentry guns, one of the main counters to Sniper is the Spy.
No!
As snipers and engineers are both backline specialists who get pretty bad tunnel vision and as such are fairly defenseless against a competent flanker. Any engineer player will tell you that the vast majority of the time, their team just does not have their back. These classes absolutely depend on their team being able to support them.
Thank you for get down Mr. Presidenting me, Spy.
The big differences are that Sniper has effectively infinite range, but literal tunnel vision, limiting his scope of area denial to directly in front of him, while sentries have limited range and take time to set up, but can cover a large radius and have auto-aim. So why is it being argued that one is more powerful than the other when one has completely eliminated human error from the equation? Well, range is the main issue here, and this is something that both is and isn't Sniper's fault. I'd say more than any other class, even surprisingly Engineer, the balance of Sniper is dictated by the design of the map he's on. Take a map like Five Gorge. Not a badly designed map if you ask me. Sightlines are mostly limited. Here on mid you can either snipe from the main entryway or from the rafters, but both have their drawbacks. The main entryway has a gaping flank route right here that any scout, pyro, or spy could easily get behind, and it lacks visibility on the sides as it's blocked off by these metal barriers. If you want to eliminate these blind spots, you have to move forward and put yourself more at risk. The rafters give you a wider range of vision, but limit your movement, leaving you highly vulnerable to explosive spam or soldier bombs. Very good. The last point is a similar story. The entryways are very choky, which puts snipers at high risk and purely on the defensive if they don't want to get blown up, and the window up here can be counter-sniped from this shed, or simply spammed by any demo man since he doesn't even require line of sight to kill the sniper. And if the demo is just spawning, he'll be able to get to this point easily since the sightline doesn't go straight to spawn. Nice. But let's say the team holding pushes forward up to second and bam! Sightline straight into the enemy spawn and it's stupid far away. This is unfair to fight for multiple reasons, as you can't possibly see the sniper coming and therefore have no time to react to his shot, while he knows exactly where you're coming from, and therefore half of his job is already done. on top of the sheer range being a major issue, and this is your only spawn point. This is why maps that limit sightlines, have multiple spawn exits, and give ample flank routes are so desirable when fighting against a sniper. It either forces them to commit to a single predictable sightline, much like how many sentry guns are in predictable, well-known spots, or go out of his comfort zone and into harm's way in order to get a potentially game-saving pick. High risk, high reward gameplay, perfect for a glass cannon pick class. When you get maps like Turbine, CP Orange, or fucking Whatville, then Sniper becomes a very powerful option because the sightlines are gargantuan and there's no other options to get around. Like, really look at Turbine here. Where do you always see snipers on Turbine? Here, in the mouth of this tunnel. Alright, let's say you don't want to run straight out of spawn and directly into his loving crosshairs, and instead want to flank him. Well, that's going to be incredibly difficult since this sightline lets you see everything short of inside the enemy base, with your only verticality and cover being these big storage crates. All 3 exits are visible to the sniper at all times. Even 2 Fort isn't this bad, as you can go down the stairs into your own sewers to flank out of the sniper's sightlines on the balconies. But let's say our Turbine sniper is having a particularly bad day and misses his shots on you, so you're still able to flank him. Your only option to get behind him is to run past the enemy spawn, through the fucking intelligence room, and finally get behind him to kill him with a perfectly reasonable flanking maneuver. Your only other option is to just get as many bodies in one place as possible and put all your hope in sheer numbers and just charge straight at him, hoping he doesn't have an engineer friend backing him up. Okay, so certain maps give Sniper too much freedom to abuse his range. So if you hate playing against Sniper at his strongest, avoid these maps. Is that all? Well, still no. If you ask me, these are the 2 biggest problems with Sniper at the moment. 1. His ammo pool is massive. 2. His reload is really fast and it's passive. See, the thing with the backline of the enemy team is that for the most part, it's a position of relative safety. Sure, you'll still get ganked by a flanking scout or rocket jumping soldier or just any spy and your team won't have your back, but they have to put in a lot of effort to get there. The trade-off for this is that flanking is difficult, but once it's accomplished, dealing with a sniper is almost always trivial. This isn't to say that in comparison to flanking, Sniper is brainless by any means. After all, trying to hit someone doing this, or this, or this, is no easy feat. However, I am saying it takes little to no effort for Sniper to not only get into an advantageous position, but also to stay there undeterred. He has too much sustainability for too little effort, unlike his area denial counterpart, the Engineer. He's rarely forced to reposition himself and make himself vulnerable because it takes a long time for a sniper to go through all 25 of his reserve bullets. On top of this, his punishment for missing is a 1.5 second reload. At long range, that's nothing. Pretty much every other class is punished for missing their shots because their range means they need to be close to the enemy in order to deal effective damage. But with Sniper, that's only the case if you're at close range or currently closing the distance on him to get to close range. And even then, he can still pull out his melee and one-shot you because random crits totally deserve to stay in the game since they invalidate Sniper's biggest weakness the vast majority of the time. You guys in the keep random crits camp still want them to only stay on melee weapons? Yeah, didn't think so. Anyways, the fact that Sniper can throw out shot after shot after shot, not only so quickly, but for so long, is part of what makes him so capable of shutting down a choke point pretty much single-handedly. Now, you need to be good to do this, and the majority of the time, the snipers you're going to be running into are not good. I still never take a sniper seriously, even if he has an unusual, until he headshots me more than once or I'm playing Highlander, because those fuckers are maniacs. Or cheaters. Anyway, I have a few solutions to this. 1. Reduce Sniper's ammo count. This is something the High GPS Balance mod did, and unlike their decision to reduce quickscope damage to 140, this is a change I absolutely agree with. By forcing snipers to either reposition often or only anchor themselves to spots near ammo packs or dispensers, it limits their options and gives windows of time for the enemy team to push forward even if the sniper is a god. And next, Make snipers reload take longer and not be passive. My suggestion for this would be to give him a Garand style clip that has a hard reload. I think 4 shots per clip is fair, with a total of 12 to 16 reserve bullets. So the first 4 shots would function as is, but then he actually has to put a clip of bullets into the chamber. I know, unprecedented stuff here. And this doesn't occur passively. Depending on the length of the reload, this is also another important window to give the enemy, so that fighting the sniper can be more in their control, even if they're at a longer range. And it forces the sniper to be more accurate, as now their shots are a more valuable resource. And if you wanted to, you could even add a Garand style ping when he reloads that's loud and easy to notice, so that the enemy team knows it's a good time to make a move since the sniper is going to be too busy reloading for the next couple seconds to take a shot at them. I know none of the sniper rifles are Garands, but can you really complain about the ping? Now, there is also the point of fighting snipers in close range and how they can still get you even if you essentially corner them. Now, this is just personal, but I've never had a problem with this. I mean, I don't have a problem with a scout killing me at long range with a cleaver, or a pyro from long range with a well-aimed flare, or a demo at close range when he's also vulnerable to getting rushed down, or hell, a medic in general. I think it's fine that Sniper can use his primary to defend himself at close range even if it's not something he specializes in, because that shit is not easy to pull off consistently, even for the best snipers. It's a high risk, high reward play when using something like the SMG or melee would be easier, but likely less effective, and I really don't have an issue with that. If you think it's frustrating or unfun to fight, then that's fair, I'm not gonna fault you for that, and that applies to fighting Sniper as a whole. But 1v1ing a sniper when I'm aware of him and the map isn't bullshit is fine by me. If I'm a scout and I'm strafing and jumping around like a fucking lunatic and he still manages to rend my head from my shoulders, then I'm gonna be way too busy being impressed to be upset about that. That being said, Sniper can still be frustrating to fight. I often just kinda sigh in disappointment when I'm all of a sudden killed in a fight I'm trying to have with someone completely different because some give-us-vision sniper half a mile away nipped me in the ankle like I'm fucking Achilles. Also, unlike sentry guns, snipers can do this. Yeah, shit like this is what makes people say that the only counter to sniper is another sniper, which isn't true at all even in these situations, but this is still infuriating to fight. I'd make a serious case that this is the worst part of Badwater, and I really like Badwater. Not as much as this guy though. And it's not just these specific spots that are an issue. Sometimes it can be very difficult to tell when a sniper is even there before it's too late, and this can be frustrating as it essentially takes counterplay out of the equation until your next life. I can't tell you how many times I've noticed a sniper a frame or two before he headshot me. When you do notice him, it's not so bad, but the most dangerous sniper is the one you don't see. This could be fixed by making the effect that the Machina has with its tracer rounds universal. Though, considering that's one of the biggest drawbacks of the Machina, it would probably have to go through some rebalancing. I think it already does because of the stupid body shots thing. Oh yeah, body shots. Body shots are fucking annoying and lazy, and I wouldn't mind seeing their damage heavily nerfed. You can keep the initial shot at 50, but only have it go up to like 75 or 100, so you can't one-shot light classes and medics by hitting them in the finger, and you actually have to try to headshot other snipers during a sniper duel instead of just hiding in an area I can barely see your head. The last thing I wanted to mention is quickscoping, and I'll be brief about it. Zesty Jesus recently made a video talking about the speed of quickscoping being too fast to reasonably react to, and I really don't have much to say on the matter because I found his video to be generally agreeable. I think increasing the time it takes a quickscope to activate by the time frame he suggested is more than reasonable. I just think that doing so too much would slow down Sniper to the point where I wouldn't really find it that fun anymore since I like to play more actively, and having quickscoping be so slow that I'm effectively forced onto the backlines would honestly probably make me switch to full-time huntsman. Also, if the increase is significant enough, there should be some sort of visual or audio cue to let you know when you can headshot. I think a beep similar to the one you can enable on fully charged headshots would be good, or the laser not appearing on your crosshair until it's ready to deal headshot damage. Either that or increase the time it takes to actually scope in to accurately reflect the change. I think in general, people are being kind of hyperbolic about Sniper when he's really only a problem when a fraction of his player base picks him on a fraction of the maps. But you know, people are really attached to bad maps for some reason. I mean, hell dude, I bought a Turbine stamp. For the vast majority of snipers out there, you should count yourself lucky that's what they picked because it's as good as the enemy team being down a player. Shit man, even I have days like that. This is what happens when you don't eat your vegetables, kids. You turn out bad at Sniper. And even then, Sniper's balance is really not something that's ever stood out to me too much because getting rolled by a single good sniper feels just about the same as getting rolled by a good demo or a good soldier or a good heavy. And don't even get me started on the scouts. Have you ever fought a really good scout before? It's like that scene in One Punch Man where he tries to kill the mosquito. It just doesn't happen. But yeah, that's what I've got to say on the matter. Is Sniper's balance perfect? No. Is he as bad as a lot of people are saying right now? I wouldn't say so either. But I don't think the arguments are going to stop even with this video. Because at the end of the day, as long as there's 2 classes left in the game, someone is going to want someone nerfed. Ooh. I don't even fucking care. Worth it. Absolutely worth it. Fuck you for even trying to pull that shit with me.